Well, you know.
Okay,
That's
we are
my
all
job.
recording now.
We are recording now. Welcome to the psychology Q&A session. We're going to start that again. My name is Chrissy Lofgren.
And I'm Jessica Herrera.
Excellent.
Alrighty.
Excellent. And I love that there's some questions coming in, which is excellent, excellent, excellent.
So do we want to start with questions, Chrissy, or do you want to kind of go over what
I think I just want to, for the first part, I just want to give you a couple dates because we seem to be getting a lot of those questions.
Yeah.
And the first thing is, if you are an incoming freshman, you will be registering on July 6th. And if you are an incoming transfer student, you will be registering on July 13th. This morning, we did get the finalized date that June 8th is when the shopping carts will open up. So after June 8th is when you can start putting the classes in the shopping cart, the lovely video that Jessica filmed and we sent out showing how to do it. So those are just some quick dates off the top of my head. We could talk about orientation too, if they still have time to register.
Yeah, so you do still have time to register for orientation. So if you haven't already done so, you just go to the website, type in orientation, and there's a link there that will take you to the registration. There's different days for freshmen and for transfers, so you can kind of pick which day you'd like to go. And then it's all virtual right now, so everything will be on the web. You'll just tune into different activities that they have going on throughout the day, and then at one point during the day, we do have another session with Chrissy and myself, and we'll be answering more questions and kind of just going over some general information. So ultimately, our goal is to send you all the information that you need ahead of time so that when your registration date comes around in July, you have everything that you need to be able to register from your home. So I know it's a lot of information and you're learning a lot of different things right now about our school and about how we do things. But hopefully just, taking the time to kind of get familiar with all of these things and asking your questions, we can get you ready so you're able to register on those days.
Yeah, I know it's a lot of information right now, and we try to keep our emails short if we can, but we have a lot. Well, I always have a lot to say, but we want you to feel free to ask these questions. And even if we can't answer your question here today, please email one of us. That's what we're here for. And we want to make sure that you all feel comfortable and transition you into your first semester here at Cal State Monterey Bay. Yeah,
definitely. So right now, we just a quick reminder. So we're splitting the alphabet now. So Chrissy will be advising A through L. And I'm advising M through Z. So
it's new for us. So
it's new. Yeah. So we are kind of splitting it that way. So, but you can always feel free to ask either one of us any questions you have.
Yeah, if you don't like my bad jokes and you want to talk to Jessica, that's okay. I won't be hurt. I say if you're not a Cowboys fan, you can talk to her, but we're both Cowboys fans, so sorry. All right, should we answer some questions? Because I see we have some in there.
Yeah.
That's what I love to do. Thank you, Meg.
Thank you, Meg.
All right. We'll just start it off here with the first question from Olivia.
Hi, Olivia.
Can you explain what the first year stats support course looks like?
Excellent. Yes, the first year support course for stats is, we try to tell all the freshmen to take it, especially if you're not really comfortable in math. If you're like, nah, I got this, you don't have to take it. But in there, you'll be working with other students and somebody that's helping out in the class, people from the Cooperative Learning Center, so the tutors. Hey, Stella, we're going to ask you to turn off your video so that we can stream. But hello and welcome. This is good. So it's important, I think, that if you don't feel really comfortable in math, that you add that support course. And again, it's just something it's extra support to help you get through math if you need it.
Yeah, so they help you with problems. It's a little more set up like a lab would be. So you're kind of working on things instead of having a lecture. So it's really great. It's going to, be different, a little different than it typically is because it's online, but it's just extra support for you so that if you're a little unsure about math, they'll help you out.
Great. Next question from Americus. Since we have to take a lab class, how will we be able to do that since it will all be virtual?
So the way the labs are set up, they're actually connected to each of our classes. So it's just kind of a continuation of the class that you're already registered for. The format of the class might be a little different in the lab portion, but it's still all going to be online. Even our science labs in biology and things like that are going to be online. So they're just finding new innovative ways to run them virtually. So it's still the same part of your class. You have the same professor. As you're registering, you should be in the same number. So if you're in like Psych 320 Section 1, you want to be in Psych 320 Section 1 lab, because it's just a continuation of the same class. So your professor will kind of break it down for you a little more and tell you like specifically how the two components are going to be a little different.
And a lot of times the labs are really just working on sometimes group work or assignments. So it'll be helpful.
Yeah.
Be doing it through Zoom.
All right, next question from Samantha. Do I have to take the writing placement test if I passed my AP exam?
No. If you are sure you passed your AP English exam, then you are cleared from your A2 requirement and you do not have to do the English DSP. We're supposed to tell everybody to do it, but if you have AP scores, you're good. You don't have to do it if you have the AP scores. Good questions.
All right, from Ria, are we able to sign up for classes now before we do transfer orientation?
Not yet. So you'll have to wait until those dates that we mentioned, July 13th for transfers and July 6th for freshmen. It's just set up that way so that you have all the information that you need. We get as many of your transcripts in as possible, so that when you register, you don't have as many hiccups, hopefully.
Great. All right, Jacqueline's wondering, and I think I know the answer to the question, which classes would you recommend we take first?
So it depends if you're a freshman or you're transfer. So that one is a loaded question.
Did you already send emails out?
We did. So if you are a freshman, Jacqueline, then you're going to pay attention to the first time freshman email that we sent out. And on every email we've sent, we also have a link that you can click on the bottom and it takes you to a page that has every single email that we've sent. We're trying to be super organized. So for freshmen, again, all the classes are in there. We're going to go over the classes, I think, in a little bit. For transfers, same thing. We sent out an email for transfer students. So it's kind of hard not knowing if you're a freshman or a transfer student. I don't know if you want to put that in chat right now without it being too crazy.
Put it in chat. I don't see that she has yet. No.
The other thing to keep in mind, so in the emails that we sent out, I know it's a lot of information, but one of the great things about college is that you can really pick whatever you want and we give you options. So we're not going to tell you exactly what to take every semester because really it's your choice. We say, we advise you decide. So
welcome to college.
Exactly. So we want to make sure that you have options. So take a look at those emails that we sent. Like I said, I know it's a lot of information, but just kind of take your time, go through the different requirements. And after you do that, if you have specific questions or if you want a little more information on some of the different categories, that's a chance where you send us a quick email or we set up some kind of appointment where we can help you kind of narrow it down a little bit if you need that. But ultimately it's your choice. So Chrissy and I are not going to give you specific, like this is what you need to do. We're just going to explain your options to you.
And if you have not gotten any of our emails, please email one of us and we'll make sure you get them.
Lovely.
Okay.
Anna is wondering, will we be able to study from home for fall 2020 and not pay for housing for that semester?
So it's a housing question, but yes, nobody's going to be living in housing to my understanding.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is going to be online. I don't think they're taking any new students in housing. Jessica?
Yeah, that's as much as we know too. So if you have specifics about the cost for housing, I would definitely connect with the housing office.
All right, from Jessica is wondering if you could give her some more information on the language requirement. I took French at a community college and noticed that we don't offer French here at CSUMB.
Yeah, so our degree requires that you get to the intermediate of a level of a language other than English. So that can be pretty much any language, but you have to show that you're proficient in that language. So I'm not sure, Jessica, what level you got to in French, but typically it's the third level. So like 3 semesters worth of a language. If you didn't get to that third level, then you can always try to take it at the community college that you were taking your classes and then transfer it over. Or there is a CLEP exam that you can take in French where it's kind of like an AP test. You take it, see if you're proficient. If you get a certain score, you can get credit for that requirement. If you've never taken any language, or if you took it in high school but you didn't take AP, then we require that you take it here. There's a lot of different ways that you can get through the language. You might be able to skip some semesters or jump right into a proficiency level class, but you have to get to that intermediate level, and it has to be taken at college level.
Excellent.
All right, from Nicole, is there an opportunity to apply for UROC?
There should be an opportunity to apply for UROC. Even though everything's going to be virtual for fall, UROC is still up and running.
Should we say what UROC stands for the rest of us?
Undergraduate Research Opportunity Center. Okay, there it is. Yeah. So yeah, UROC is organization. They're actually in the library with us, and they work with students and faculty, and they really help groom a lot of students. If graduate school is your end game, then it's a really, really good opportunity to get involved with UROC. So, and there'll be more information about UROC at orientation. So that's my plug for orientation. Everybody should go to orientation.
Yeah, definitely check out their website too. They have a lot of information there as well.
All right, so I'm kind of breezing over questions we've already answered previously in this recorded Q&A session.
Thank you, Meg.
All right. Nicholas is curious about the GWAR requirement that has been suggested as a first semester class. Is this a course that must be taken at CSUMB, or could it be met by a prior writing course taken at another institution?
Well, so you may have taken, if you're transferring from another university, you may have taken a class, but we have Psych 302, which is a requirement for our major. So you have to take that class in the major, and it happens to clear the writing requirement as well. So even if you might have taken the GWAR at another institution for some, you're still going to have to take our Psych 302. It's a prerequisite for your capstone, which is your senior class. So you do have to take it here at CSUMB.
Yeah, the only way you could be exempt from GWAR is if you are coming from another CSU, and if you've already taken upper division research methods, and that's something that we could look at. But for now, yeah, everybody, and for the most part, our 302 is closed for fall already. So it's okay if you take it in spring, don't worry. It's okay if you don't take it first semester. As long as you get into it for spring, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Raya, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, is asking if the shopping cart opens on June 8th, then how is it that we can't register until July? It's actually, yeah, July 6th.
I know,
or
right?
No, yeah, sorry, go ahead. July 6th for
freshmen.
So July 6th is freshmen, and July 13th is transfers. And what they're waiting for this time, they're waiting for all transcripts to be put in the system, because it makes it a little bit easier for registration. So it normally always works that way. We have orientation, and then we register after orientation anyway. So we've really only pushed it about a week or two, but it gives you plenty of time to talk to Jessica or myself, to have your shopping cart loaded, and to really, you know, get all of your questions answered. But yeah, it won't be until July.
Yeah, so just think of it as an opportunity to build your shopping cart. You want to know all of the things that you need to know before you get into classes. It gives us an extra chance, like Chrissy said, to kind of review it with you to make sure they're all the right classes for the first semester. And it just, everything is ready to go. So on those days of registration, all you have to do is go in there and click enroll, and you're good to go. That's our goal.
Jacqueline is wondering when we will be able to make a learning plan with our advisors.
So we typically recommend that you wait until after registering for your first semester. That way we're pretty sure that all of your transcripts are in. We know what your first semester is going to look like. And actually at this time, our online learning plan is glitching out a little bit on us. So it's not going to be really reliable until the fall semester. So we'll be available, you know, anytime after orientation to kind of start. But if you want the best plan, I would probably hold off and wait until after classes start in the fall semester. We should have lots of time. All of our appointments are going to be virtual, just like today. So we can set it up on Zoom or on Google Hangouts. We'll share screens and we'll kind of just go over your learning plan. So there's lots of time to get that set up for you.
I promise you all you're in good hands. Psychology has one of the highest graduation rates. So you're in good hands, no matter which hands you're in. You're good.
I love it. Raya's also wondering what the first year seminar class is and which one of them should they take for psychology.
So for psychology, we are open. You can take whatever first year seminar course you're interested in. And there's multiple classes that they've added to the schedule. They might actually be adding a few more. So it doesn't matter if it's a humanities one or if it's a science one or if it's a DGSS, a social science one. Honestly, you can take whichever one you want. So go through, you can read the course descriptions when you click on the class in the schedule, and whichever one fits the time for you and whichever one seems interesting, have at it.
Those classes are for our freshmen only. So if you're a transfer student, you don't have to take that. If you are a freshman student that has taken classes at a community college or you have a bunch of AP scores, then let Chrissy and I know because you might be exempt from it as well. But if you're just coming in fresh, haven't done any college level classes, you'll be taking that your first semester.
Sweet. Paul is wondering if I took ASL 1 and ASL 2 at a community college, would taking ASL 3 fulfill my language requirement?
Yes, it would. Yeah. So here we call it ASL 201, but if you want to take it at the community college and it's as long as it's intermediate language and you can check with Jessica or myself to make sure, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, skipping over ones we've already mentioned or already answered. From Jacqueline, what's the difference from the research methods class from CSUMB than the ones we took in community college?
So our, the Psych 302 class that we have that is upper division, that's a big difference. It's upper division. So anything 300 level or higher is upper division. You can only take them at universities. And you have to complete them to get your degree. If you've taken it at a community college, typically it's just not the same kind of content. And also ours covers the GWAR, the writing requirement. So that is also another component that the lower division one that you took at your community college would not have.
It's a good question.
Kylie's wondering do you register for lab classes separately or are they part of the class already?
Lab classes?
Lab classes.
Yeah, so for psychology, Jessica mentioned earlier, if you're going to take psychopathology, Psych 320 Section 1, you want to make sure that you also register for Section 1 lab. Any psych class that has a lab, you must always have the matching lecture lab combination. So if you're in Section 5 of the lecture, then you have to be in Section 5 of the lab. We're going to send that out again in an email, again, because we know you're getting inundated with emails, but always make sure that you register for the lecture and the lab.
So it is separate.
All right. Megan is wondering, should we take the stats support course as a transfer if we need to brush up on our math skills?
I'm going to say no, because it really is, and I probably took the words out of your mouth, Jessica, it's really geared towards freshmen. And if you do need help with statistics, then the Cooperative Learning Center is available with Zoom, and you can do some tutoring sessions. And I think that would probably be a better use of your time, especially because the one unit won't count towards the 120 units that you need to graduate. So I would definitely suggest hitting up the CLC and getting one-on-one or group tutoring it for the statistics.
Awesome. So Joanna is making a suggestion or asking a clarification question about muting and unmuting themselves to clarify a question they may have asked earlier. I'm wondering if Chrissy and Jessica prefer them to just clarify it in the chat box itself, because I don't know if we can.
Yeah, because we can't do it without unmuting everybody. So if you can clarify it in the chat box, if not, again, please feel
Joanna
free to
gave a
reach
thumbs
out.
up. Thanks, Joanna.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we can also talk outside of this if you have more specific questions for yourself.
Samantha, I think your question should be geared towards housing. If she's wondering if we'll be given some money back for not housing. I guess maybe if you mean tuition too. Yeah, I guess maybe clarify that, Samantha, if you mean housing fees or some other fee. All right, Jasmine, let's see. Oh, that was already answered. I'm a transfer student and I am used to taking over 15 units. Is it wise to continue to take 15, or am I setting myself up to get my booty kicked?
Well, we don't want your booty kicked.
Yeah.
But Jessica and myself typically always suggest to take 15 to 16 units to keep you on track. So if you're a transfer student, that'll keep you on track for the 2 years. And 12 units is full time. And what you can do is you can register for 15 units. And if during the first week or two you're feeling overwhelmed, you can always drop one. You only have the first 2 weeks to make schedule adjustments, to add and drop classes. But that's a conversation that you can have with Jessica or myself during the first 2 weeks, and we can feel it out from there. Because there's always opportunities that you could take a summer class or a winter class, and you can do it from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Samantha clarified that she meant housing. It was answered earlier. Okay. Do AP scores only count if it's a 4 or 5?
Some of our AP, you can actually get a 3. It just depends on the test, and it depends on what requirement you're trying to fulfill. So for the language requirement specifically, you do need a 4 or a 5. For some of the other GEs, you just need a 3. So there is a site on our website that will list all of the APs and the scores that you need to get credit for whatever requirement. But if you want to check in with Chrissy or myself, you can do that as well.
All right. Will tuition prices change at all because we won't be on campus?
So again, this one's kind of out of our realm, but we're not sure on that. I don't think so, but that would definitely be a question I would say for admissions.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay. That question was answered. That question was answered. Yes, Ronnie, this will be recorded. It is being recorded. You can go back to work.
You're doing a good job, Meg. I just want to tell you.
Oh, thanks.
Thank you,
All right.
Meg.
Oh, of course. Joanna is wondering, do we know about the future of the following semesters? I assume following fall 20. Will it also be online?
We don't have any word about that yet. It seems like you guys are getting more information faster than we are.
Sometimes,
the students are. So the goal is to get everyone back on campus as soon as possible, but we want to make sure we're doing that safely. So it really just depends on what guidelines we get from the CDC. The chancellor's office is then kind of going over that and giving that info to our presidents, and then our president is making the best decision for our campus. So it's a chain of kind of decisions, and they'll of course keep you updated, and we'll keep you updated as we get any information about that. So we don't know yet about spring.
Yeah.
All right. Olivia is wondering, if I took up to Spanish 3 in high school, do I still need to take a Spanish class my first year?
So you don't necessarily have to take it your first year, but you do need to complete up to the intermediate level, like Jessica was mentioning earlier, of a language other than English. So we do have an online placement test that I'm not sure if we sent that out yet, but we will. And it's just a little quiz that says, hey, you should go into level 201, or this is a number. And if you have any questions with it, you can ask one of us. But yes, you do need to get to the intermediate level here at Cal State Monterey Bay or at a community college. Has to be college level.
Yes.
That's a better answer. College level.
And then Samantha's wondering, do we add stuff to our cart starting June 8th and then pay for them when I assume she means registration instead of cart is open in July? We just got told the tuition deadline.
I don't remember what the deadline was.
I can look it up. Well, I can look it up if you want to talk about it.
I was going to say, I think it's July 1, but.
Well, no, it's.
I mean, August 1.
Yeah, August. So
August 1.
I can look it up.
I'll look it up, Meg, while you ask more questions.
All right.
Thank you.
But no, you won't pay right after you put classes in your cart and register. It's after you register.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll get that date for you.
Raya's wondering, do we know why there's no sort of refund for orientation?
So that question I do not know. I would actually reach out to the orientation office. It's just orientation at CSU Monterey Bay. That's something, unfortunately, that's kind of not in our area, and the charges that they're doing. I would definitely reach out to the orientation office and ask them.
Friday, July 31st is our tuition payment deadline.
I was off by a day. I apologize.
So if you get financial aid, that's one thing that they will actually kind of put a little hold on your account until you get your funds. And then they'll take all of the tuition out of your funds, and then they'll give you whatever refund you have back. But if you're paying out of pocket, then July 31st is that deadline.
Wonderful. Adriana is wondering, will the library on campus be open during fall?
So they've had some talks about opening up some computer labs, but again, like Jessica was saying earlier, right now, nobody is on campus. They're trying to figure out the best way for students so they can get them internet and get them a safe place to work. But as of now, we work in the library and we're not going to allow it back until January. So stay tuned. More information will be coming out about that. But as of now, the library is closed until further notice.
Yeah, and if you have any trouble with internet or technology or anything like that, feel free to reach out to us and we'll try to connect you with the right resources so that you can get that for your school, because I know that's a necessity to get through this online stuff.
Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Samantha is wondering, how do we access the summer courses? And Samantha, I'm not 100% sure if you mean just summer classes offered at CSUMB or something specific.
I'm assuming probably the summer courses at Cal State Monterey Bay, which they're closed right now. And we're hoping that they open it up, because our boss has actually asked them to open it back up for.
Well, as new students, they can't take summer here, can they?
Yes, they can.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we actually have several psych majors right now enrolled in classes for summer. So they are allowed to as an incoming student. But right now they have it closed because the payment deadline was a couple weeks ago. Right. So I would say email extended ed at csumb.edu and check in with them. Because again, they're separate than our department and they run things a little differently.
Yeah.
Thank you. Nicholas is wondering, I have not yet taken research methods. How will this affect my ability to take other upper division psych courses?
So if you are a transfer student and you have not taken an intro to research methods at your community college, then you definitely want to take that your very first semester at CSUMB. Unfortunately, you won't be able to take any of the upper division psych classes until you do take that class. So Psych 200 and the lab is our intro to research methods. So absolutely take that your first semester. And then to fill in your schedule, you can just take any of those other GEs that we talked about, the upper division GEs or the service learning, or if you haven't done your language, any of those things you can take the first semester. But Psych 200 and the lab is our intro research methods, and you want to take that right away.
Fab. Okay. If we add a class to the shopping cart, this is a great question that is good to get clarified. Will it save us a spot in the class?
Much like Amazon, when you put that cool new shiny item in the shopping cart, it's not yours until you check out. So unfortunately, no. You can add as many classes as you want to the shopping cart, but until you proceed and finish enrolling, which we are going to show you all actually how to register at orientation, we're going to actually walk you through it. The classes you won't be enrolled in the classes, but we're going to show you what it looks like when you're enrolled in classes. And that's an excellent question. So thank you for asking that. You get a bonus point.
Stella is wondering if we've passed the AP Psych test, do we need to take statistics before we can take higher level psych classes?
Yes. So intro to psych, intro to stats, and then our lower division research methods are all 3 prerequisites for our upper division classes. So as freshmen, you have to take all 3 of those classes before you get into your junior year. Once you get into junior year, that's when you start taking all those upper division classes. For transfer students, you have to have all 3 of those classes done before you can take any upper division classes as well.
Another question about regarding the language requirement, Kimberly is wondering if she's taken French 1 and 2, would Spanish 1 fulfill the language requirement since French is not offered at CSUMB?
No, you got to get to that 3rd level. Intermediate is the magic word here. So yeah, you got to get to that 3rd level of language. So again, our local community college, Monterey Peninsula College, does offer French. So that might be something that you could look into. Or any community college near your home, Kimberly, wherever you're from, as long as it's intermediate language and you check with Jessica or myself, you can take care of that at community college.
Yep.
Yes. Kieran is wondering, can we make an appointment with an appointment now with an advisor to help make decisions on which classes to take in the first semester?
Yeah, I mean, we strongly recommend you take a look at the emails first and try to get, as much information from those as you can first. But if you have questions or if you're feeling a little overwhelmed, we do have some appointment slots open and we can kind of help you walk through it a little more. But definitely take a look at the emails and read through our recommendations before you kind of start that appointment. That way we kind of have a good ground foot to kind of talk about those requirements, because if we're starting from like 0, it's harder and it takes a little longer. So we'd rather you kind of have that foundation before we do chat. But definitely, if you have questions, feel free to reach out.
All right, and this one may have been addressed in the emails you've sent already as well, but Samantha's wondering, apart from math, English, language, and intro to psych, are there other classes like fillers we can do, like social sciences or things like that?
First year seminar, woo!
There you go.
Yeah, and then we actually sent a list, like you can take an art class, you can take a history class, you can take a health class. So yeah, but first year seminar is one that I would throw in there for you if you need it.
Olivia is wondering, what do I do if I took the AP Psych test this year, but I don't have my score yet?
You can hold off on taking psych until spring semester, until you know for sure if you passed or not, and just take other GEs that you need, and we can have you take it later.
All right, and then Americus is wondering, how do we sign up for that stat help class or the program? So I think she means a stat support class.
Stat 10.
Yeah, so just look for Stat 10 in the class schedule, and you'll see the different lab times there. You can pick whichever one you want to sign up for.
As a transfer, do I have to take a stats class if I took one at a community college?
Nope, you're good to go. If you already have stats under your belt at the community college, then you're clear.
Amazing. Okay. Joanna is wondering, will there be tutoring available for some of our classes? And if so, is that included in our registration costs?
Yes, so we have the CLC, which we mentioned earlier, Collaborative Learning Center on campus. They will be doing virtual tutoring for writing, for math, and they do cover a few different several other classes that we offer on campus. So definitely check out their website. They will have a list of all the classes that they have tutors for, and they can help you out there. If you have any trouble or you need tutoring in a different class that's not listed there, definitely check in with your professor. They might have some resources available to you, or you can check in with me or Chrissy as well.
All right. Samantha is also wondering if we get a job on campus, is it smart to be a full-time student with those 15 units? So I guess Samantha means taking 15 units, but also
Yeah, so and I
working.
assume you mean for spring semester since we won't be on campus in fall. But yeah, and I think you can feel it out. Our jobs on campus will only allow you to work 20 hours. So and for them, school is first, and you will see that theme no matter what department you work on campus, school is first. So they really work with you. But I think you can start with 15 and feel it out. And again, you've got those first 2 weeks that if you want to drop down to 12 units, you could do that because 12 is full time. For financial aid and housing and everything else.
Stella's saying that the Spanish quiz didn't tell her what level to sign up for. It just gave her a core score. So I would say maybe ask for clarification from the World Language and Culture email.
So the scoring system used to be 100 was 101 level, 200 was 102 level, 300 was 201 level, 400 and above, you should teach the class, is what I say. So that used to be the scoring method, but yes, I would definitely email the WLC at csumb.edu and ask for clarification. Good questions.
All right. Americas, I would say follow up with orientation at csumb.edu about your question about the fee being due for orientation and having to pay for it.
Yeah, I think I was on the website earlier and there is some information about the fee.
So the new Otter or student orientation website is very informative as well.
Yep.
That was answered. Okay, how can I apply for an on-campus job?
Otter jobs. So again, on-campus jobs, to my knowledge, will not be happening in fall for the fact that none of us are going to be on campus. But Otter jobs is something you will all have access to, and it's something that's run from part of our department, the career department. And on there, there's all kinds of jobs and internships, and you will get an email from career at some point during this transition with log-on instructions, and then you can start looking at all kinds of Otter jobs. And again, jobs in the community.
Great. So this is a good question, which we may not have the exact answer to at this point in time, but I think it's important to start this conversation. Will the classes be in an online format, like a typical online class, or will they be more like this Zoom meeting where you meet regularly with your teacher, in this kind of formal meeting setting, is what I think this student means.
So our understanding is if you have a class at 2 o'clock on Mondays and Wednesdays, then at 2 o'clock on Mondays and Wednesdays is when you're going to be doing your Zoom with your professor, unless otherwise noted. We use a system called iLearn here, which is, you can access that from your dashboard, and all of your classes will be loaded into iLearn, and that's how you're going to keep track of all of your assignments, of the course syllabus, and it'll have instructions on when to meet. And again, if the class is at 2 o'clock, my understanding as of right now is that means that class is at 2 o'clock, and then you go on to the next class from there. Unless it's a specific says online class, that's how they're gonna run it. But stay tuned for that syllabus.
Yes, okay. Anna is asking, is there a way we could have a guest also view the virtual orientation?
I would check on the orientation website for that. The guests are actually going to be there's some other opportunities for them to watch other things while the main student is going through different things online, but everything is virtual. So yeah, I would check the website for that to see if you can have other people there.
Olivia is asking if the seminar class that we're talking about, which Olivia, I assume you mean the first year seminar class, FYS, is a requirement for CSUMB students.
It is a requirement for students who have less than 15 units, that are coming in with less than 15 units. So yes, for all first-time freshmen, if you have no college level units, then it is a requirement.
And Joanna, it just depends on for whether or not the Otter jobs that would be available, if they're going to be online or not. It just kind of depends on what the department needs. But definitely check out Otter jobs and just keep regularly checking for any updates on jobs that are available, and then they'll explain the description and the job requirements in that application. Okay. Nicholas, can I take a third level language class as pass, no pass?
Each class is set up to kind of have a different grade option to use. So as typically the language classes don't have credit, no credit, you have to get a grade. It just depends on the class. In Oasis, when you're registering, if there is an option to take a class credit, no credit, it'll be in Oasis. Otherwise, there is not that option. But for language, you usually have to get a grade. And that's a D- or passing for most of them. There's some specifics for that as well on the website.
Jasmine's just asking for clarification about checking the previous emails you sent, because she just got access to her CSUMB account a couple days ago.
Yes. So, and again, the personal emails, we have been hit and miss too. So if you have not received any of our emails, Jasmine, please email Jessica or myself, and we will send you the emails out that we have been sending. I think we're on email number 6.
6, yeah.
But we're super organized, so we'll send you the emails that that you haven't received. So just reach out to one of us and we'll take care of it.
Yep.
Samantha's asking, so if we have AP language or AP literature, we don't need FYS. But that's, no, if you have 15, if you're coming into 15 or more units total, then that's when you don't need FYS. But otherwise,
and if you had AP Lit and AP Language, that would only be 12 units because they're both worth 6 units each. So you would still need to take the FYS.
How do we find out if we have less than 15 units?
So once all of your scores are in our system, you can check your transfer credit report, and that will let you know how many units you transferred in. As a freshman, usually they don't get all of your AP scores in until after we register and things like that. So your score should actually let you know how many units you're getting. So I would check there first. If you have more questions or you're kind of unsure about that, reach out to me or Chrissy.
Yep.
Nicole is asking us, as we have been former students in the psych program, are there any classes that you think would be a service to take online, any we should wait to be on campus for?
That's a loaded question. That's a loaded question. Yeah.
I would say still take ones to stay on track. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, for right now, since it's your first semester, you're just going to be taking the recommended courses for first semester. And honestly, I would say if psychopathology, abnormal psych is your most favorite class, wait and take that one in class or something like that. If there's a class that you're most excited to take, like Psych 355, social psych and social justice, maybe wait till spring to take that class anyways. Then, I mean, that would probably be the best advice we could give you now. So.
Yeah, I think so. But I will say that a lot of our faculty are getting extra training on doing virtual teaching. And especially the psych department itself, they're very cognizant of how students learn and kind of how this transition is really crazy for a lot of students. So they will make this experience as best possible. You're in really good hands with our faculty, that I can definitely say. So even if you take a class this semester and it's not in person, I think you're still going to get a really good experience.
This is till 4 o'clock, right?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
Yep.
So, all right. So I'm just going to try and get through the as fast as I can here. Let's see here. 2 Spanish courses at the same time. Let's see. That was answered earlier. Is research methods being offered over at the summer at CSUMB? It is not offered at Cabrillo.
No, they're not offering it.
Yeah, so I think I mean, sometimes they offer it at other community colleges, but if you haven't got into it yet, I don't know what the chances are to get into it this summer. But worst case scenario, you just take it in fall and then you jump into the other classes that you need. There's plenty of classes to take. You won't be behind if you are taking it in fall. You just got to make sure you take a full schedule, get all those GEs and university requirements out of the way. And then spring and the other couple semesters, you just go full force with your psychology. So there's still a lot of stuff you can take. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. But if you have more specific questions or you want to talk about it, again, reach out to me or Chrissy.
All right. Samantha's asking, does history go into our score? And I assume she means AP history.
As long as you get a passing score, it will, it'll go in there.
It'll cover your U.S. History 1 requirement. You'll still have the civics and service learning requirement.
All right. Would you recommend for Americas to wait to take the Intro to Environmental Science course as one of their GEs, I assume, in the spring semester since it has a lab?
So I'll speak for that one because I think she means the ENVS 201. I actually took that class when I was a student there at Cal State Monterey Bay. It's up to you. If it's open, you're welcome to take it. You might be full already with your first year seminar and your English and your intro to psych and language if you still need it. So honestly, it really is up to you. This is where Jessica was saying that we'll give you kind of some guidance on some classes you can take, but we're not going to tell you specifically what classes you should take. We'll show you the ones that you are able to take, but you get to decide which one is going to be best for you.
This is a good question. Is FYS a 2-semester class?
1 semester only. Yep. All of our classes are 1 semester only. So you just take them for one session and you're done. Move on to the next one.
One and done. One and done.
Yep.
Oh, I just jumped ahead. Oh no. Raya is asking, just to clarify, you're correct, Raya, or I'm sorry if I'm not saying that correct, that if I'm a transfer student that I don't need a FYS, that is correct.
Yeah, it's first year seminar, so it's just for freshmen.
Yep.
Okay. Marlon, your question might be pretty individual. As a transfer student, what classes would you recommend taking over the summer at a community college?
It's going to depend on what you've already taken, so I would say reach out to Jessica or myself to see if there's anything you need.
And tuition due July 31st for 1 semester or for the full year?
Just the classes that you're registered for. You just have
one semester.
Yeah,
1 semester.
1 semester at a time.
Oh, I thought that I had more than that. I was trying to get quick. I think that's it. That's it for now, unless we get a few more that come in.
Ooh, lots of good questions, everyone.
Yeah, if anybody has any last minute questions, please let us know. And again, for those of you, if you have not been receiving our emails, if you have not set up your Cal State Monterey Bay email, please set up your Cal State Monterey Bay email. You do that from your dashboard. There's a link, you just click on email and it'll walk you through it. But this has been great just talking to everybody. I wish it was in person. Obviously, we're both people. But we will be in person soon, hopefully. So.
Yeah, so please feel free, reach out if you have any last minute questions. We're both meeting with students virtually. So we're happy to answer your questions as you kind of go through this. Yeah, we're looking forward to working with all of you, and stay safe. And yeah, we'll see you soon.
Let me answer Jasmine's question really quick, because we do get this a lot. If I took biopsych at my community college, I only need to take the lab, or we need to take the lecture and lab. So Jasmine, everything that's at a community college is freshman, sophomore. And now when you get here to Cal State Monterey Bay, everything that's 300 and above is junior, senior. So now hopefully you've got the basis and the understanding of biopsychology, and now you'll take an upper division biopsych class. And you can take something different, like we have psychopharmacology, where you learn about drugs, medical drugs, street drugs, the effects on the brain. So you could take something different, so it's not maybe along the same lines. But good question, we get that a lot. If you did social psych at the community college, you need social psych upper division now here.
Yeah, and Rhea, the language link is actually in our emails that we sent, but if you can't find it on there, it's actually on the website as well. So if you just type in language placement test, it should pop up. If you're still having a hard time finding it, just email me or Chrissy and we'll send it to you.
And thank you everybody for attending today too. This was great because it helps us to know what kind of questions you have and to maybe, go from there. So
give us your feedback too. Let us know how it went, if you felt like we missed anything. And thank you, Meg, so much for helping us with our cues.
Thank you, Meg, so much. We so appreciate you.
You're so welcome. Anytime, y'all.
Alrighty.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for being here. And we will post this. And if you have any questions, let us know.
Yep. Take care, everyone.
All right. Take care.